Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we fix a broken window blind on a Citroen C4 Picasso. Right, here's what should happen. Nice, yeah? But unfortunately, on this side, not what should happen. So the first thing you're going to need to do is remove the door card. There are only 3 screws which do that, which are located here. Here's a close-up of the easier 2 to get. The third one is hidden behind the door handle. So you're going to need to prise that outer cap off by starting at this end here. Just get a small flat blade screwdriver or something underneath. But then make sure once you've got that front end free, you slide the door handle towards the rear of the car. There is a little clip which, if you just try and pull the handle straight off towards you, will break. I have broke them. The door handle does still stay on afterwards, but if you can do it without damage, all the better. Although if you're worried about damage, you probably should stop here. And the third screw to undo is located here. There is a 4th screw here, which I don't believe you need to undo. I think that just holds the handle to the door. It's no hardship if you do take it out, but I don't think you need to. With those screws out, I use this sort of red plastic door trim tool. You can use a wide flat blade screwdriver. Just to work your way around the door, you'll hear loads of pops and clicks as the little clips probably break. So do buy yourself some spares. You can get them on eBay. You might be lucky, but I've never in my life been able to get a door panel off without breaking at least one of these tiny little clip type things. And with that done, you should be able to take the whole door card off the car. There are a couple of other little things you need to do before we start. One is removing this rubber strip here. It just pulls up and off the door card. And then there is a piece of wire here, which you just need to kind of unclip from this little locating peg. And then you're ready for the problem areas. And this is why when you ask Citroen if they can replace your broken mechanism, they want over 400 UK pounds just for parts. Because the blind is actually plastic bonded into the door card. There's no clips, there's no screws. There's a whole series of these little plastic tangs that come from the door card. They go through the tray that holds the blind, and then are what looks like hot melted and peened over to hold it all in place. And this is why I say, if you are worried about breaking things, maybe don't attempt this, because all of these need to be broken open. You could, I suppose, cut them with a Dremel, but you're going to have to get it back on somehow as well. Yeah, they all need breaking, all of these, to be able to free the tray that holds the blind in. I go about it in my usual amateurish way, just with a screwdriver, picking and poking, and just breaking my way along. It's more scary than it is difficult, because you know once you start, there's no real going back. But you can work your way along and actually get the tray to come off. You can see the removed tray here with the holes all those locating pegs go through, and here are the areas the pegs are, but note the tray is actually sandwiched between this inner skin of the door card and the outer skin of the door card. So even when you've broken all those little tabs off to get it all free, you still need to kind of prise the panels apart to lift that tray out. With that tray out, it was quite apparent what the problem was. One end of the blind had snapped clear of the tray which secures it. This end here should be attached to the tray here. Thankfully, in my case, the little tab that should secure the blind to the carrier remained in the little cup that holds it in the blind. There's its locating place in the tray, and you can see it here a little more clearly. And thankfully, also, it was a clean break, so it will just fit back in the place it was removed from. So with a little bit of glue, I secure that back in place. Now to deal with the little cup which attaches the blind to the carrier. These are loose. There is obviously one each end, and a spring that goes all the way down the middle of the blind, which is what allows it to, it is what you put the tension on that allows it to retract. So when you, depending on which end of the blind is broken, when you put the little cup in the blind, if you've removed it, I mean it's not hard to do, it's only about a couple of inches long, but once it's in there, you are going to have to twist the little cup round to get the tension on the spring that will enable the blind to fall back down. Which way you twist it is going to depend on which end you have taken off, so you may just need to do a little bit of put some tension on it, try it in the tray, and experiment to see whether it works the way you intend it to. But once you have got that correct, you can clip it home in the tray, and get ready to put it back on the door card. And like I mentioned earlier, this tray that holds the blind is sandwiched between the inner and outer door cards, so you're going to need to prise them apart, drop it in place, and push the inner pane back over the top. And how you reattach it now is a bit dependent on how well you removed it, or how badly you removed it, and how well you want it attached back on. I can say I bludgeoned mine so badly that once I'd got it all back in place, all the frayed and mashed up mushroomed ends of the mounting pins did hold it together enough for me to be happy with. Needed a bit of effort to kind of push things back home and get things in place, but you can use some hot melt glue, which is probably what I'd recommend. It's the easiest to put on and remove. You can obviously eldite them in place, put some large washers and self-tappers through. There's a whole method, or a whole range of things you can use to try and secure the tray back on. But in real terms, as long as it's on, it's not going to go anywhere because of how it's sandwiched between the two panels. What you may get, if it's not secured very well, is some rattling of the plastics. My bodged method hasn't shown any of that so far, so it isn't super critical. But I will leave that to you if you've got this far. So then, other than clipping the wiring back in place and popping the door seal, window seal back on, that's that job done. It's just a matter of pop the door card back on, and hopefully it will all work. Now, brilliant. I am wishing I'd put a bit more tension on it, but at least it goes away rather than flopping down the side of the door. So there we have it. Not the easiest of jobs and not my usual level of presentation, I know. This was all photographed early in the spring. It is now December, but it was such a sort of bodge job to actually get it fixed. I wasn't overly happy with it, but I found a bit of time, so I thought I might as well present it to you here. So if you do have this problem and feel up to the task of breaking parts of your car and then trying to stick them back together, it does work. You can fix them without spending the exorbitant price that Citroen want. So I hope this is of some help to you. If it was, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Look forward to seeing you all soon. But whatever you're doing, do take care. Stay safe. Peace.